Hello everyone, welcome back to Cardman's Cards. I'm the Cardman. Today we're going to be going over the Ancient Gear. Well, not the Ancient Gear, but over Ancient Gear. They recently got a new card in the Animation Chronicles. I will not be using that today, but just to let you know, that card is bananas for the deck. I do plan to do an update video here probably in the next week or two going over the deck from using that card. But I'm not 100% sure when Animation Chronicles is coming out. But till then, let's continue to the deck. This is using the the new cards from Legacy of Destruction, which is their other most recent support, unless you count Ancient Gear Dragon, which is a V-Jump promo, and he's not that good. Let's go ahead and get started. We have Ancient Gear Dark Golem. I will not say his name like that again. Level 8 Level 8 Earth Machine. Good lord. 3k, 3k. This card name has become Ancient Gear Golem while on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate this effect. You can set cards for the rest of the turn. Also, you can add up to 2 Ancient Gear cards or Geartown from the deck to your hand, except Ancient Gear Dark Golem, and discard one card. You can only use this effect of Ancient Gear Dark Golem once per turn. This card attacks your opponent. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the damage step. So a very good starter card, especially with how many ways you can summon Ancient Gear monsters from the deck by using your spells. That's a 2 of, by the way. 2 Ancient Gear Dark Golem. Then we have 3 Ancient Gear Tanker. This could be a 2 of. I'm not 100% sure what the final ratio is going to be eventually. But for the time being, I'm going to have this at a 3 of, just for the fact I think I wasn't seeing it enough. So I definitely want to run more of it. Level 4 Earth Machine. 13-13. This card is no more special summon. You summon one Ancient Gear monster from the hand, except itself, ignoring its summoning conditions. Or if your opponent controls a monster, summon it from the graveyard instead. You can target one face-up card you control, destroy it. And if you do, for the rest of the turn, all Ancient Gear monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it will gain 600 attack. Also, you can only use each effective Ancient Gear Tanker once per turn. So this basically allows you to pop your spells and traps that allow you to summon more Ancient Gear monsters for free by using Tanker, while also getting you additional summon. That's a 3 of. Then we move on to 2 Ancient Gear Commander. This card's meant to look like Crowler, if you didn't realize that. From GX with the Dule vest thingy, the weird thing, and then his like, haha, I'm pointing at you, as a homage to him, I guess. I don't know. I just find it interesting. Level 4 Earth Machine, 500, so searchable off a box. 2000 defense. You can send one Ancient Gear Golem from your hand, deck, or face-up monster zone to the graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one Ancient Gear monster. If you normal special summon one Ancient Gear Golem, you special summon one Ancient Gear Golem from your hand or graveyard, ignoring summoning conditions. Then you can banish this card from the graveyard. Place one Ancient Gear Continuous Trap card from your hand or field. Place one Continuous Trap card from your hand onto your field. You can use each effective Ancient Gear Commander once per turn. I was originally running this as a 1 of, but I found I wasn't seeing it enough for the additional effect, so I ran it as a 2 of, because once you kind of get it engrave and banish it, yeah, that's all you're ever going to see. So I think a 2 of is good. 3 Ancient Gear Wyvern, one of the best cards you can get. It's a level 4 machine, 17-12. This card is normal or special summoned. You can add one Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand, except itself. You cannot set cards the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Ancient Gear Wyvern once per turn. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the turn. But yeah, so very, very good card. Then we have 3 Ancient Gear Frame. I might drop this to 2. Not 100% sure, because it really doesn't do a whole lot. It just grabs a spell or trap that mentions Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Golem Ultimate Pound. So it's good, but not as good as it could be. So this could easily be put to a 2 of no real issues. This is Earth Machine level 4, attack 16, defense 500, so it's also searchable off of Ancient Gear box. You can discard one card, add one Ancient Gear Golem or spell or trap that lists specifically Ancient Gear Golem in its text, which is a lot more now. You can only use the effect of Ancient Gear Frame once per turn. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards until the end of the turn, until the end of the damage step. This face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field by opponent's card effect. Let summon up to 3 Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound from your hand by ignoring their summoning conditions. Ultimate Pound is retrain an Ancient Gear Golem. It's okay. It allows you to pitch an Ancient Gear monster, machine monster, to make an additional attack up to 3 times per turn. So it's not really run. It used to be ran, but no longer is. So we're going to move on to, we have one Ancient Gear box. It's the deck's brick. It's a good card, but bad if you open it. Level 4 Earth Machine, 500, 200. Oh, excuse me. This card is added from deck or graveyard to hand except by drawing it. You can add one Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack or defense from the deck except Ancient Gear box. You can use this effect of Ancient Gear box once per turn. So this allows you to add any Earth Machine with 500 attack or defense. So this allows you to search Frame, Commander, any of those 2 cards for free. These guys have other stats. And we have one Ancient Gear Golem just for the solidarity of using Commander. Because Commander makes you send an Ancient Gear Golem from your hand, deck, or face up on the field to use its effect. Okay, so we have one Therion King Regulus. Just for the fact that it's an Omni-Negate and it's searchable off of using Champion Sargas, since we run a bunch of level 4s, you can make Sprigans Merrymaker and then go up into Sargas. So, just that, and then for hand traps, I don't run very many hand traps because most of the deck you have to have your Ancient Gear cards, so I only run 6, Ash being one of them. Ash, your opponent adds from deck, sends from deck, or, deck to grave, summons a monster from deck, or adds from deck, you can discard this card and negate that. So I do believe that is all the monsters. We're going to move on to the spell and traps, which we have one new spell, and we have one new trap. So let's go ahead, get started. We have Ancient Gear Advance. As a continuous spell card, when this card is activated, add an Ancient Gear spell/trap from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Gear Advance. Once per turn, you contribute one monster, draw one card, and if you do, for the rest of the turn, you can almost summon level 5 or higher monsters that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it without tributing. You can only activate one Ancient Gear Advance per turn. You cannot set cards the turn you activate this card. So this allows you to basically just normal summon your Ancient Gear Golems for free. By as long as they are Ancient Gear Golem or contain its text. So for example, if like using Commander, if you use Commander effect, you can normal summon an Ancient Gear. I just normal summon an Ancient Gear monster, and you have Dark Golem in hand. It's just haha, Dark Golem, normal summon, and then it'll trigger both of its effects. So yeah, very good card, Ancient Gear Advance. And we move on to another good card, Ancient Gear Catapult. It's a normal spell. While you control no monsters, target one face-up card you control. Destroy it. If you do this, one Ancient Gear monster from deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one face-up card you control, destroy it. If you do summon one Ancient Gear token, machine, earth level 1, attack 0, defense 0, you can only use one Ancient Gear Catapult effect per turn and only once that turn. This allows you to just trigger your field spell, your fortress, anything like that by just popping it. It's any face-up card you control, if you don't control monsters. And it's a 3 of as well. Same thing with Ancient Gear Advance, if I did not mention that. Then we have the Fusion card. We're no longer running the Poly on legs for this deck, which is Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. Just for the solid fact that he's not as good as it used to be, because normal summoning Hunting Hound and pulling for Howitzer used to be amazing. It's not that good anymore. Now we run 2 Ancient Gear Fusions. Fusions will an Ancient Gear monster from your extra deck using monsters on your hand or field as fusion material. Use Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem per pound you control as material. You can all use monster from your deck as material. So if you fusion summon one you control an Ancient Gear Golem, you can just use materials from deck as well, which is good, which is very good. This is searchable off of, well, a lot of things. Ancient Gear Advance, Ancient Gear Frame, Wyvern, all those good guys. Ancient Gear Fortress. This card is amazing. I could definitely see it as a 3-of. If you would definitely like to run this as a 3-of, like drop a frame for this guy, I completely understand, because Ancient Gear Fortress, amazing card. During the turn they were normal or special summoned. Your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with card effects. And they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. The opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of Ancient Gear cards and effects. If this card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone, you can also special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard. You can summon a monster for the rest of the turn next to Ancient Gear monsters. It's a very good card. The overall protection it gives is amazing. And then we get into a couple 1-ofs. We have Terraforming to search the field spell, which we'll go over here shortly, and then one Called by the Grave. This card's amazing. Target a card your opponent's graveyard, banish it. If you do, until the end of the next turn, its effects are negated, as well as the activated effects and effects on the field of the monster with the same original name. I'll give a perfect example. Fire King, they have Ponix, which in graveyard during the next hand by phase, after it's destroyed, adds back to hand. You can just banish it, they don't get it on your turn and on their next turn, which is great, because Ponix is your typical 1-card starter for that deck. 2 Urgent Schedule. This is mainly just to felicitate your Ballista, just free Ballista. It's all this is really for. Basically, you activate Urgent Schedule, free Ballista play. Urgent Schedule is a quick play spell. Your opponent controls more monster than you do, especially when level 4 or lower, and when level 5 or higher, Earth Machine monster from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. You cannot declare attacks the turn you activate this card, which is fine, except with machine monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard from the field of the grave, you can add a level 10 machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can use this effect of Ancient Gear, Urgent Schedule per turn. Just a 2-of. If you would like to cut this out, you definitely can. I understand. If you want more hand traps, easy. And then we have a good card I like to run, Clockwork Knight. All face-up monsters on the field become machine monsters. Machine monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Also, machine monsters opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. You banish this card from the graveyard, discard 1 card, add 1 Earth Machine monster from deck to your hand, and use this effective Clockwork Knight once per turn. This also came out in Animation Chronicles, so that's also funny too. But very good just as an additional searcher for another Ancient Gear name if you need it. Also, if you would like, you can cut this card. This is another flex spot. If you would like to cut it, you definitely can. You can definitely run another 4 more hand traps if you so choose. Then we have 3 Geartown. This is the Ancient Gear field spell. Both players can almost summon Ancient Gear monsters for 1 less tribute. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand, deck, or grave. So you can summon any Ancient Gear you want from hand, deck, or grave using Geartown if it's destroyed. Geartown is a 3-of because it's really good. At one point, I used to run Pseudo Space just to copy Geartown's effects because you destroy it so much. For the other hand trap, we run 3 Infinite Impermanence. I'm thinking about changing this to something else because, again, you can't set cards. So this is mainly good for your going first because you're just like, haha, Imper. But yeah, target negation. When I activate the card effect, target negate. If this card is set, when you activate it, you can negate the same spell and trap zone in the same column is this card. And then we have the trap card, which is Ancient Gear Dule. Continuous trap card, which you normally place off of your Ancient Gear commander. Is that right? Is that right? His name right? Commander? Yeah, commander. Where's it? Command? No, it's commander. Monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention Ancient Gear Golem are unaffected by opponents' activated effects. So, Dark Golem, Tanker, Commander, Frame are all unaffected by activated effects. So your opponent can't do anything to them really. because they're unaffected, because they all mention Ancient Gear Golem. Or are Ancient Gear Golem. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions Ancient Gear Golem by banishing materials on it from your field or grave, including Ancient Gear Golem you control. So for this to resolve, you have to have Ancient Gear Golem on the field, which is not necessarily that hard, because Dark Golem counts as Ancient Gear Golem as well. And if you do, it can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase. You can only use effective Ancient Gear tool once per turn. So the poly is once per turn, but its protection effect is completely, like, it happens all the time. It's a lingering effect. So yeah, that is a very good card effect. Let's go ahead and move on to the extra deck. They are not getting any new extra deck cards, sadly. I was hoping for a new Ancient Gear Fusion that lists Ancient Gear Golem as like a big new boss monster or a negate. Fortunately, we did not get one of those. We have the standard ones we reduced this from a 2 of to a 1 of. This is Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. This is still your big end button. If you summon this, you're more likely going to win. It's really hard to get rid of. It's a dark, level 10 machine fusion. Requires 4 Ancient Gear monsters. And I'm supposed to summon from other ways. Unaffected by spell and trap effects. So it's just completely unaffected by spell and traps, period. Your opponent's monsters cannot activate their effects during the battle phase. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls, once each. This card attacks defense with your monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. So, this card is basically just screw you on legs. If you summon this guy, and you go to battle phase with it, your opponent cannot do anything. You win. This is just you win. He is 45, 3,000 defense. So this guy is huge. If you make him, you're more likely going to win. This guy is so good. He's hard to make, so that's why it's a 1 of. But if you do make it, your opponent has to have something amazing to stop this. Because your opponent can activate monster effects during the battle phase. So the entire battle phase, they can't do anything. And then we have Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, a level 10 Earth Machine. Ancient Gear Golem plus 2 Ancient Gear monsters. Must be fusion summoned. If this card attacks with your monster, inflict pierce. If this card attacks, your opponent can activate spell or traps until the end of the damage step. Good lord. If this card is destroyed, you can target one Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard for summon, ignoring its summoning conditions. The reason you're running this as a 2 of now is because of Megaton. Megaton floats into this if it's removed by card effect. So you just get another copy of Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. So that's a 2 of. We have 1 Ancient Gear Megaton Golem. Level 9 Earth Effect Fusion, 33/33. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or traps until the end of the damage step. If this card is fusion summoned using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golems or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pounds. As material, it can attack up to the net number of times each battle phase. If this face-up fusion summoned card in an owner's control leaves the field by opponent's card effect, summon Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from the extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So yeah, this allows you to float into the Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem while also attacking several times. We have 2 Ancient Gear Howitzer. You can definitely cut this to 1 if you like and run more other cards. I wasn't 100% sure what else to run, but it's a little towers. It's a level 8 Earth Machine Fusion, 1018. Not the biggest card in the world, but not bad. It requires 2 Ancient Gear monsters, unaffected by other card effects. So it's a towers monster, which is hilarious. During your opponent's main phase, you can inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. You only use this effective Ancient Gear Golem Ancient Gear Howitzer once per turn. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So this allows you just to free body any Ancient Gear monster you would like. It's a good card. It's easy to make and on top of any other card you would want to summon. We're going to move on to the non-Ancient Gear cards. This is a lot of changes in it. I would say there's only really like 3 cards you would have to run. Other than the fusions, of course, and the ballistas. This is just Zeus. Divine Arsenal AA-ZEUS. Once per turn, if an Ixie monster battles this turn, you can also Ixie summon this Zeus by using one monster you control as material, so just goes right on top of the one that attacked. You can detach 2 material from this cards and all other cards from the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, if another card you control is destroyed by battle or card opponent's card effect, you may attach one card from your deck or extra deck to this card's material. So it just, let's send, it's a once per turn, quick effect, just send all our cards. Good effect. Gigantic Champion Sargas. This is mainly just to search Regulus. If it has material, you can have Sprigans or Therion card from deck to hand. And then you have one Bagooska. This is mainly if you're going first and you can't really do a whole lot. Your opponent stops you a lot, and the only thing you can really do is just make 2 level 4 monsters. Just sit on a Bagooska. They can't really do a whole lot. Merrymaker is just to rank up into the Sargas, because the Sargas can go on top of any Sprigans Ixie you control. We have one Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess, just for the fact that you make a lot of monsters using this deck. So if you're going first and you just want to make a big monster effect negation, just summon this. Easy 4 monster negates, which is very helpful. One Nightmare Unicorn, and then one Nightmare Phoenix, just to get rid of your opponent's cards, to spin, and then to pop a spell and trap with Phoenix. You can run IP if you would like. I'm not right now, just because I always forget IP exists. So when I do combo videos, I might switch that to IP. I'm not 100% sure. I will let you know if I do, though. And then we have 2 Ancient Gear Ballista. Ballista is very good. I didn't go over any of the stats of these guys. Whoops. Let me redo that real quick. Zeus. Rank 12, Light, Machine, 3k, 3k. Sargas, level, rank 8, Machine, 2615, Fire. Bagooska, rank 8, Earth, Fiend, 21, 2k. Merrymaker, level, rank 4, Fire Machine, Ixie, 11, 21. Appaloosa, Wind, Link 4, Attack, question, Link 4. Appaloosa gains attack based on number of materials. Unicorn, Link 3, Dark, Fiend, 22. Nightmare Phoenix, Fire, Link 2, Fiend, 19. Ballista, Earth, Link 2, 15, Machine. If this card is linked to someone, you can add one Ancient Gear monster or Geartown from deck to hand. You can target one spell or trap your opponent controls, and one phase-up monster opponent controls. Destroy that monster. You control, and if you do change, destroy that card you control, and if you do, change the opponent's monster attack to 0. This is a permanent. To 0 until the end of the turn. Each effect of Ancient Gear Ballista once per turn. This allows you to pop your spells and traps by dropping your opponent's attack to 0 to get more attack damage. But yeah, I do believe that is everything. But yeah, Ancient Gear is a going... I guess you can go first now, maybe, but more focus for going second, Beatdown, by using your Ancient Gear Dule or just your fusions in general, just to overwhelm your opponent by punching real hard, real fast, by making a bunch of big monsters relatively quickly. It kind of dies to any kind of board breakers like Super Poly, Dark Roller No More, anything like that. Interrupted Conjure Slumber just hurts this deck a lot, but anything of that sense. But I do believe that is everything. I will be doing a combo video here shortly. Until next time, this has been the Cardman's Cards. This has been Ancient Gear, post Legends of Destruction. Like, comment, and subscribe. Keep collecting. Bye.